Chapter 57 to 62. Yatata. Finally, everything is done, I said while walking home in a happy manner. At last, I don't need to work that hard anymore to get money. It should be enough for months. As usual, the road is empty. Walking back to my home is always resulting in peace along the way. At least before I opened the door. Aegis-sama. You're back already. Haruheim said, hugging me as soon as I opened the door. Haruheim-san. What is this? What is actually happening? I said, since she never behaves like this. Can't you tell by looking? Of course, we miss you a lot. Aisha said, walking behind Haruheim. Don't tell me both of you waiting here for me. I said while looking at them. We don't need to answer that, didn't we? Aisha said, leaning on the church's chair. Ha, alright. Let's go inside. I said with Haruheim walking by holding on my arm. Then, tell me. Since when Haruheim behaving like this? I whisper to Aisha. Era. Seems like you have to talk with your elf girlfriend for that. They got along really well, Ryo-san and Haruheim. Aisha said while holding my other arm. Alright, Aisha. Let go. I said to Aisha when she started hugging my arm. But you let Haruheim hold your arm. Fufu, Aisha said while she smiled after taking several steps aside. Can we just rest for today? I'm tired. You too, Haruheim. I can't walk like this. I said toward Haruheim. Her ears and tail quickly went down from the sadness she felt. You can still sleep with me. Don't be that sad. I said after somewhat feeling bad to her. Really? She said quickly looked at me with an anticipated look. Yes, so quickly get inside. I said to her and she rapidly ran to our room where Revis, Hestia, and Belle resides. Ufufu. I never knew you always being this soft. Aisha said smiling at me. Yeah. Maybe a lot of things been happening lately but then. What about you? I said while glancing at her. She quickly turned confused by my question, what are you talking about? You're reaching level 4, right? That's why you holding my arm to see how is your power against me. I said to her. Ha. Then. How can I answer now if you already said it all? Aisha said lowering down her shoulder. Just answer me. Are you really that desperate to win against me? I said asking her with eye-to-eye contact. I just don't want to meddle with your happy life, that's all. Even though I thank you enough for releasing me from her charm, but part of me told me that I don't belong here. At least not by your side. Aisha said with a sad smile. PFFTT. Ha ha ha. I couldn't contain my laugh anymore, which she shocked to hear. Your sister figure to Haruheim and also a beautiful girl. I never knew you even more miserable than Haruheim. I have told you, I saved both of you so you could live the way you wanted. Then why are you holding yourself back? If it's my fault then I will take full responsibility for it. I'm sorry that I didn't know about Amazonas that much back then, but now it's different. So. Are you willing to be beaten to submission? I said while extending my arm. Her smile then turned sweet and looked at me with a loving stare. I can't deny that if you ask me, can't I? She said holding my hand. But still, it's kinda weird proposing but threaten someone to get beaten up. I said after thinking about what I said. Ufufu. Then, don't you dare die on me. Aisha said continue talking. I looked at her blankly for a few seconds before chuckling a bit, huh? As if. I said shrugging my shoulder before both of us went inside to sleep. Apollo-sama, we already got the information about the boss monster that spawned at floor 18th. Someone with brown long hair and blue eyes said toward the god Apollo. Well done, Hyacinthos. Tell me who defeated such a big monster. Apollo said with an amusing smile. His face could be said as a pervert that admired the beauty of talent. It's Aegeus Cranel and Belle Cranel. Member from Hestia Familia. He said while bending on his knee. Hestia. Ahahaha. Such a fate. It can't be more perfect. Apollo laughs while looking at the ceiling with such a crazy pervert smile. Hestia Familia recently received a few members. Aegeus Cranel, level 3. Aisha Belka, level 4. Sanjuno Haruheim, level 1. Belle Cranel, level 2. Hyacinthos said reading his report. Never would I thought she got some high-level member. It would be a challenge to get such a talent. Ahahaha. Apollo said after thinking for a while. Aisha Belka and Sanjuno Haruheim recently being searched for by Ishtar Familia. It could mean something, Apollo-sama. Hyacinthos said. I see. It looks like, I need to talk with Ishtar. Good work, Hyacinthos. You would receive your reward. Ehehehe. Apollo said with a perverted gaze. Everyone. Thank you for your hard work. We have broken the record and reached floor 59, cheers. Loki said with a loud voice across the hall where all her Familia member had their dinner time. To celebrate our success. I have decided, we're going on a trip. Ready your swimsuits. We're going to Melon. Loki again announced their holiday to the port city, Melon, where a huge lake that connected to the sea. Ugh. Everyone shouted together. Then. Let's have a feast. Loki said, and everyone started eating like it's war itself. Ah. I miss this feeling. The sense of silence while dreaming. I said in my dream because nothing could beat the feeling of sleeping in your own home. Excuse me. Excuse me. Someone said even in my dream. Making me wake up since someone bothered my sleep. I quickly sit on my bed, just who the fudge shouting. I shouted but everyone in my Familia woke up at the same time after I shouted. Excuse me. Someone still shouting and I realized, it's not my Familia member. Just who the heck disturbing my day? I said while stomping my way outside the abandoned church. I opened the door and looking at his clothes. He should be one of the guild employees. Speak. Wrong answer and I will kick you back to the guild. I said with my irritated face, glaring deadly at him. Hi. I'm sorry. I'm just a messenger. We have an emergency quest for Hestia Familia. He said while giving me a paper for me to read the quest. PCH. We're not even rank E or D Familia. Speak your reason. I said not taking the paper. But. This is the paper that has been signed by the guild head. If you didn't accept this, we can charge penalty on your Familia for refusing a specific quest. He said staggeringly. Right. We will accept the quest but if something is not right about this quest. Your head will be the only thing flying to the guild door. Don't you think it's weird to give us this quest when our members even less than 10? I said while forcefully took the paper from his hand. He trembled before he noticed that the paper is already gone. He just realized the inside of the paper said. Quest to Melon. Bring all member with level 3 and above to escort some guest that arriving at Melon and also kill some monsters that appearing in Lalag Lake. I said read while skimming the paper. I looked at him for a second before continue reading the rest. Duration of the quest, 2 weeks. Are you sure it's not some corruption that your guild head doing? Because if it is, I said it once again. You will be found dead in a street when I return. I said leaving him while feeling irritated also felt some suspicious move being used here. There's never been a specific quest being thrown at small Familia since the people that request the quest would want a high chance of success in doing this kind of quest. There's some rare case but it's because the quest is small stuff and there's a limit in their finances to pay the adventurer. Escorting someone is not small stuff while killing the monster also depended on the monster that appearing near the place. I returned to my room and went to Hestia while giving her the paper. What do you think? I asked her after she read the quest. It's certainly suspicious but the penalty for refusing such a quest is a severe impact for us, financially. Hestia said while thinking seriously. I thought so too. I said since I can't let Hestia know about my money that's still in Hephaestus. If the penalty is about half the money that the Familia has, it would be a headache for me. Let's just accept the quest but be careful in your way there. We had to see for ourselves about this quest. Hestia said since she couldn't think about anything else. The time of the guest arriving is today at high noon, while the way to Melon is not that far but still consume a few hours. I will also take Haruheim. She's still in training and will become a hindrance if something happened here. Belle could still protect you alone. Stay safe, Hestia-sama. Stay at someone's places for the next 2 weeks. I will work on this case when I return. I said while leaving the church to call Ryo. At Hostess of Fertility, the place looked empty since it's still early in the morning and I could see Ryo training outside on the street. I quickly dashed to surprise her. She flinched and quickly blocked my attack with her wooden sword. Who? She said in reflex. Is that your way of greeting me, Ryu? I said when she finally looked at me. She sighed in relief and put down her weapon. Ha. Do you have to startle me with that? Ryu said. Ha ha ha. I can't help it. I said with a little laugh. So. What bring you here, Aegeus? She said with a little smile on her face. Do I need a certain reason to visit my girlfriend? I said, teasing her, which made her blush. That's not what I mean. After all, you never wake up this early. She said while blushing, but her words stabbed me deep in my heart. Ah. I'm hurt. I said after feeling stabbed by her words. But. You're not wrong. We got a quest. I said while making a serious face. She also turned serious hearing it. I had a bad feeling receiving this. Do you have cloaks for us to use? I said while she nodded and went inside. I followed her inside while facing Mia that stood there. Mia-san, I will borrow Ryu again for 2 weeks. I said while the situation is serious. Mia also noticed that something is wrong. Ha, she just returned and about to go again. You better pay her debt at this rate, and took her with you. Mia said after her sigh. Right, I will pay her debt after my money being paid in full, I said smiling at her. She also smiled back at me. Don't you take back that words, brat. She said, warning me. Aegeus. I brought it. Ryu said after coming downstairs. Then, let's go. We don't have much time. Goodbye, Mia-san. I said while walking outside with Ryu. She also said goodbye to Mia, but surprisingly Mia didn't get mad when she said she's leaving and only left some words, be safe out there. Aegeus, do you think I should rent some carriage for us to use? Ryu said while running behind me. No. There's no need. I have our ride. I said while she thought that I had already rent the carriage. Not long after our short dash, we arrived back at the abandoned church and everyone have already done preparing. Haruheim also stood there with her red kimono and dagger on her waist. Belle. You're the only one left here. Take care of Hestia-sama. I said to Belle before leaving. He looked at me and nodded his head with seriousness. I opened Gate of Babylon and Vimana came out from it. Let's leave. I said while walking towards it. Is that our ride? Revis said while already jumping left and right examining Vimana. Brace yourself, don't fall off. I said after everyone got on Vimana. Apollo-sama, Hestia Familia had been spotted leaving the city. Hyacinthos said while kneeling in front of Apollo. Good, let's start the plan. Ihihihi. Ha ha ha. Apollo said while moving his chess piece. In just a few minutes, we arrived in Melon. Aegeus-sama. Is that Melon? Haruheim said while her eyes glimmering from the sight. It's the first time for her to visit places without being a slave. Yes, it's Melon. It should be right. I said, but not sure since it's also my first time. Yes, it is, Aegeus. A city with a lake that connected to the sea. Ryu said for sure. Now, our mission is to escort some guests that coming toward the city. It probably arrived with a ship. So, we are going to change our transportation. Wear your cloak to hide your face. We don't know if it's a trap or not. I said while everyone wearing the cloak. Then I'm opening Gate of Babylon. Maybe I should thank the requester for this. I said while we hovering above the lake and me pull out ship that flying above the lake. Everyone, jump down. I said while jumping down. Everyone follow my instruction while finally, they saw what is down there. A big red ship already waiting for sail below Vimana. After everyone landed on the ship, I lower the ship slowly to not cause any big splash on the lake. In the distance, I could see a ship coming toward us. That should be our guests. I said while suddenly a swarm of Violas, the plant monster that I killed in Monsterphilia, started appearing and attack our ship. Everyone, grab your weapon. I said while giving them the weapon from Gate of Babylon in front of them. I will check the source. I said while jumping down from the ship and summon Leadery, the Leviathan out. When I go down diving with Leadery, the Violas started running toward another direction, which is the ship that we have been waiting for. Suddenly, we heard someone shouting. Wait! Tioni. Someone is riding it. It's not hostile. She said while Tioni already launched herself toward Leadery. I quickly block the attack and push her away. It was Tiona and Tioni wearing their blue swimming suits. "Leadery, we're leaving," I said while went back to the ship. Leadery stayed outside for a while since she never came out before. "Just what kind of tamer taming that big monster?" Tioni said. "We don't have time for that, there's one running away," Tiona said before swimming again chasing the Violas toward my ship. I arrived back at my ship while the other ship already sailed beside us. The Violas came out to the air and opening its mouth in anger. Someone from the ship already jumping toward its mouth and ripped it open. I scanned the ship and looked at the one sitting lazily is the goddess since I could feel everyone's respect toward her. "So, are you the guest that we have been waiting for?" I asked while both ships stopped moving. Guests? Maybe. We're here for sightseeing after all," she said in a lazy manner. She started to stand up and walked to the side ship. "Who those are two faces I haven't seen in a while," she said, which made me look at the water surface. There are Tiona and Tioni there poking their heads out from the water. "Ha! Leadery, send them back to the shore," I said while a roar could be heard below the ship and Leadery brought Tiona and Tioni on her back. They about to jump from her back but I landed on Leadery. "You two better stay back for now. Especially, you Tioni. I could feel a huge amount of hatred from you. I will see you again, Tiona," I said while giving her a peck of kiss while the kiss being covered with my cloak from people above the ship. Tiona felt somewhat violated since she didn't know my identity but before she lashed out. I already jumped back to my ship while Leadery swimming to the shore. "Just what the hell that guy is doing," Tiona said in anger above Leadery. Tioni looked dazed while riding Leadery. Loki Familia looked tensed when looking at the big monster swimming toward them. Everyone quickly grabbed their weapon about to attack before Leadery sent Tiona and Tioni flying through the air while flicking her body and jumped entering the golden ripple in the air. That magic," Tiona said after looking at the golden gate where Leadery entered. That's when everyone realized who tamed such a big monster. The distraction had been dealt with, now. "Let me escort you for your stay in the city," I said toward the goddess. "I'm Callie. Nice meeting you," she said before went back to her ship. Then, "Callie-sama. Please," I said while turning Golden Wild Hunt around and went to the port. "Aisha, do you know her Familia?" I asked Aisha as a fellow Amazoness. Aisha nodded. "Callie Familia. The goddess from Telskura. A nation-state place. Their captain is Argana and back, both of them already reached level 6. She said explaining the situation. Then, leave them to me. Everyone keep your eyes to the other member. I said giving them order while the sails of our ship lead us to the port. Arriving at the port, my Familia jumped to the shore while Golden Wild Hunt kept sailing inside Gate of Babylon. Callie Familia also went down to the port after parking their ship. Everyone gave a bloodthirsty feeling whenever they walk, "So you. Our escort," Callie quickly said to me. "You can call me Aegeus Cranel, but Aegeus will do," I said while bowing in respect. Then, as our escort. "You should assure our safety, right?" Callie said with a mocking smile in her face while all her Familia also looked the same. "Ha. Sadly, it's true. So, what are you saying here?" I asked her while releasing my killing intent when she said it. He. "Nothing, we just want to make sure if you had guts to kill or not," Callie said after feeling amused. "Then, my job is to keep you safe but I will still retaliate if someone attacked my Familia. Also, don't lump me with your Familia member," I said while turning back to walk toward my Familia. "Or you might go back to Telskura alone, Callie-sama," I said giving her my last warning. "Then, we will stay at the inn in front of your staying place," I said leaving her with her Familia. "Ha, this is too troublesome," I shouted in my room. "Indeed it is," Aisha said leaning on the wall. "No, not only Callie Familia but why did we only spend the money on one room?" I said while everyone looked carefree in the room. "Didn't you said to save some money?" Revis said. "Yes, but at least pick some room that cheaper not the costly big room like this. It cost the same," I said while looking at the biggest room that the inn had. "Aegeus, didn't we used to sleep together? It's fine, right? And with this, we're safer together," Ryu said while smiling. "Ha, that's true. Alright, everyone sleeps earlier. I'm tired," I said before slumping my body on the bed. Everyone looked at me and smiled before sleep, taking their own position to sleep. It's really a tiresome job. Even in the morning, people outside Cali's Inn already shouting. Please. Forgive him. He just bumped into you a little. Someone shouting just outside the inn, gaining attention from people around the street. Even me that been sleeping while still being cautious. I quickly walked toward the window and jumped down. Seriously, could you let me sleep? I said while vanishing from the place I stood and snatched the man that Argana strangle. Now. Don't ever bump into Amazonas again, okay? I said to the man that almost lost his consciousness. Argana. Someone shouted while charging toward Argana. Not another one. I said while once again appear in front of Argana and block a punch aimed toward her. Tioni. I said under my cloak. Move aside. Aegeus. Tioni said, roaring while hatred could be seen in her face. No can do. My mission is to escort Cali Familia. We have stayed at the port and only them that came yesterday, which meant the guest we had to escort. I said, stopping every strike Tioni gave. He. Look like you have turned weak, Tioni. Argana said behind me while sneering at Tioni. You think so? She's much faster than before for me. Level 6. I said while blocking Tioni. Stop hiding, Argana. Fight me. Tioni said while kept striking me. Since the problem would only get worse, I kicked her abdomen and sent her flying toward Tiona that I could see running behind Tioni. That's far enough. Loki said while releasing some of her divinity that leaking. If things get any more heated in this city, people are gonna get hurt. She said, glaring at us. Argana, you too. Stop it. Suddenly someone said from our left. It's Cali that's standing at the veranda. Ah, it's our first time meeting. I'm Cali. She said to Loki. I'm Loki. She said, giving a short introduction. Both of them stared at each other while kept their smile. They're part of my familia now. Remember that. Loki said, warning Cali about Tiona and Tioni. Oh, I know. You can hear about your fame even as far as Telskura. I know about you, but... Are you supposed to be a male god? Cali said while tilting her head. What? I'm a goddess. A super pretty goddess, damn it. And where are you looking that gave you that idea? Loki quickly shouted angrily after being mistaken as a boy. I quickly pat Loki's shoulder to calm her down. It's okay, Loki-sama. I know where she looked to give her that idea. I said, giving her a thumbs up. Loki looked at me with a tick mark on her face. You. How dare you? She about to pounce at me but being held by Ace. Ignoring me and Loki. Cali looked at Tiona and Tioni. Tioni, great to see you again. She said, greeting them both. Cali. Tioni shouted while clutching her abdomen. Cali-sama, what are you doing here? Tiona said, asking the question. We're just spending some time in this city for a while and also, escort Kun. Bring your familia, we're going to someplace tonight. Cali said, leaving all of us down there. After Cali and Argana went inside. Everyone finally calmed down, except Loki. You. Who are you really? Loki glared at me. I opened my cloak. Ha. All of you really are bothersome. I said while showing my identity toward Loki. Aegeus. Aegeus. Tiona and Ace said and hugging me. Alright, enough you two. I said while patting Ace's head and Tiona that already climbing on my back. Why? Why are you stopping me, Aegeus? Tioni shouted at me. I looked at her for a while, then, what do you want me to do? I said, asking her. That. She couldn't say anything. Ignoring her, I turned toward Loki and the other. My quest is to escort Cali Familia. So, please refrain from harming them if they didn't attack one of you first. I said before jumping back to my room. Did all of you just watching me handle the situation alone? I asked since everyone already peeking from the veranda. All of them just smiled at me before running inside. Oi. It's not a vacation. How can all of you be this carefree? I said, looking at them that already waiting inside the room and talking by themselves. I could only shake my head looking at them. The night finally came, but we only stayed at our room, wasting time not to took any risk since looking at Cali's reaction. She didn't have any idea about this escort thingy. Stay close to me, so I could protect all of you. I said before entering Callie's room. Everyone already put their cloak and hide their identity while I knocked at the door. Come in. Ah, escort-kun. Come. Wait inside. Callie said, inviting us inside while all her familia members stared at me and my other familia member while we walked to the side. Mind telling me why we have to come here, Callie-sama? I asked her while walking to the side. I don't know. My acquaintance told me to. She said while eating a grape on the table. Ah, speak of the devil. Finally, all of you are here. You have kept us waiting. It's been a long time, Ishtar. Callie said, which made Aisha and Haraheim flinched hearing her name. So, this is what people see when they did an orgy party. I said after Ishtar familia came walking through the door. Ryo quickly slapped me using her wooden sword. Ah. What the? I said when looking behind me and I could feel the deadly glare from each one of them under their cloak. It's just a joke, okay? I just want to lighten the mood here. I said with a voice that could only be heard by my familia member. Ufufu. I'm sorry if you waiting for a long time. But indeed I'm Ishtar, the only goddess of supreme beauty. Ishtar said, praising herself after walking inside with their familia. Ah. There's a frog. I said whispering and got another slap from Ryo. Ah. What again this time? I said while holding the back of my head that being slapped. Just listen carefully. Ryo said, still glaring at me. Hey, I'm also a man, you know. The only one here. I said looking at the room. So, what is the purpose of your request to a far-off country like ours? It's a bit unusual, right? Callie said, still maintaining her lazy pose. Ufufu. It's because of a certain goddess. And I'm not afraid to use whenever means necessary to get rid of her. Ishtar said while taking a sit. It's because of that goddess. I want to defeat Freya. Ishtar said, gritting her teeth. Callie looked amused by her expression. Oh, my. Nothing more terrifying than goddess jealousy. Indeed, she's enviable. The strongest familia in Ororio and also the most beautiful goddess in the world. Callie said, adding oil to fire. Shut up. Regardless of this alliance, I won't allow you to say anything else. Ishtar said in a harsh tone toward Callie, threatening her. Who? You won't allow us? Why don't we see if you're all talk? Callie said to answer her threat. While the temperature in the room dropped from how tense the atmosphere currently is. Both goddess didn't stop glaring until Callie let out a chuckle. Let's just stop right there. Honestly, that's a great opportunity to fight the famed Freya familia. So, what's the plan? Callie asked after calming down a little. My familia will attack from our home in the east and you will attack from the west. Ishtar said after thinking for a while. I see a pincer attack. Then what about the high castle wall? Callie asked. No need to worry about that. I have got a certain company to open the gate, or if you like it, I could open the gate myself. When the fighting began, that will be your signal of attack. Ishtar said, giving her the detail. It's a decent plan, but are you sure that you could hold yourselves? They got a monster with level 7 in their familia. If you got defeated as soon as the conflict begins, then you won't reach your goal. Callie said after reminded about Otter. No need to worry about that. Ufufu. I have information from Ororio that our trump card is here. Ishtar said, looking toward me and my familia member. Escort-kun? Callie asked while looking at me. Oi. Oi, so you're the one that made the request, Ishtar-sama. I said in a response when she looked at me. Ufufu, it seems that you catch on quick. She said, standing up. Hearing from your voice. You're a male, right? Why don't you look here? Ishtar said toward me while walking closer. Everyone close your eyes. Aisha said under her cloak, and everyone closed their eyes except me. All of you too. Callie said, ordering her familia. Ishtar stripped her clothes while releasing purple aura around her body. Ufufu. Look like you didn't close your eyes. Ishtar said and started to wear her clothes again. Everyone in my familia trembled but still closed their eyes. Why don't you open your cloak and walked close? Ishtar said, and I undo my cloak and walked closer to her. Now. Haraheim. Is this the man you like? Ishtar said while Haraheim started to tear up hearing it. It's okay, I have put my clothes on. I want all of you to see how miserable this man is. Ishtar said, making all of them open their eyes. Aegeus. Ryu about to take a step, but Friend Jamil, the captain from Ishtar Familia, steps in the middle. She's the frog that I said before, since her face, eyes, and head looked like a frog. How about this, Callie? I got some reward for your amazonas. Ishtar said while stroking my face. Stop, touching Aegeus-sama. Haruhime said with tears on her face after she undid her cloak. He's the only one that came to me even after I said that I'm no longer pure. He's the only one that smiled at me even when I'm useless in doing daily chores. He's the one that I love. Haruhime said, showing her teeth in anger. Aisha then patted her head while also undo her cloak. That's a nice conviction there, but you have to share him with us, Haruhime. Aisha said with a smile. Haruhime then looked at Aisha and the other that also opened their cloak and smiled at her. First, we have to save him. Aisha said while taking a stance about to fight. No need for that, Aisha, and I'm proud of you, Haruhime. I said while appearing in front of her and wipe her tears. Impossible. He should already be charmed. How could he? Ishtar took a few steps back toward the wall. Now. Nobody move. I said while thousands of swords and weapons appeared across the room while pointing toward everyone except my familia. The room turned silent for a few seconds before Ryu kicked my face, Yugu. I sent flying to the wall. Aegeus. Tell me, did you enjoying what you see? She said, glaring at me that slumped on the floor. Ugh. Well. She's the goddess of beauty. I mean. What can I say? I said, but she kicked me again as if she's stomping on trash. Ryu. Stop. I give up. I said with all the bumps and bruised on my face. Escort-kun. Mind removing the weapon from us? Callie said while keeping her laziness even when there's a weapon close to her. Right. Before that, Callie-sama. Mind telling your familia that after I release you and your familia, please don't ask me for a fight? After all, your familia is too weak. I want to avoid failing in my quest. I said after noticing a huge amount of thirsty smile on their face. I can't be sure about that, but if you accept the challenge to fight my familia member, it would be good. Callie said, smiling at me. Wait for a second. I said, holding my answer. What do you think, Aisha? I asked her, which made her startled. Why are you asking me? Aisha said in confusion. Aisha. How dare you betray us? Some of Ishtar familia shouted. I mean, if I fight them and win, won't they just chase me to the end of the world? I said to her after ignoring Ishtar familia. Who? Are you so sure about defeating my familia? How about only fight back and Argana? Take your choice. Callie said, slimming my option. Right. Before that, let me finish my business with Ishtar-sama. I said while walking toward Ishtar. Now, Ishtar-sama. It's not my reason to fight your familia. Believe me, I know about your hate with Freya familia, but please left my familia out of it. If you promise that, then I could let your familia go. How about that? It's just I don't want a stigma on my back for killing God, and I still am in a good mood. I said to her, but someone from her familia seems agitated. How dare you threaten us? Jamil shouted and destroy my swords that aimed toward her and charged me. I let her charge at me and send me outside the inn to the street. The space on the street is much bigger than the room. Aegeus. Rhea shouted when I got charged outside. Gate of Babylon got closed and the weapon retracted back. My familia member already rushing outside the hole in the wall toward me. Ishtar familia saw this as an opportunity and also go outside to catch my familia member. Along with Callie familia that about to watch the fight. But the sight they saw outside is I single-handedly holding on Jamil's big head when she charged at me. I warned you to stay put. How luckily the ugliest one that charged at me. I said while Gate of Babylon appeared on the air and stabbed Jamil over and over. Her body got skewered to the street while kneeling. She's still breathing, maybe because of her regeneration skill as Amazonas or something else. I won't do useless massacre. A red light district is also an important place for adventurer, but I'm sure everyone will be glad if you're gone. You should shut your running mouth for once, mongrel. I said while pulling out swords from Gate of Babylon and decapitated her head. Next, I looked around. Anyone else? I asked them with Gate of Babylon behind me and a corpse in front of me. No one is moving but their leg trembled in fear. A first-class adventurer, level 5, died that easy. Ha, trust me, Ishtar. I didn't side with Freya Familia or anything, but if you touched my family, I will kill them all, including you. I said while pulling out a certain spear with silver color. You recognize this spear? I said, throwing the spear toward her. This spear. Vanna Freya's spear. How did you get this? Ishtar looked at me with her surprised face. He attacked my family. So, I gave Freya-sama a warning while breaking one of his legs. I said and took back the spear. So, if you involve in any plan that going to involve my family, you better stay out of it. I said to her. Still, I don't like you looking down on us, goddess. She said, glaring at me. You? Let's see. Enkidu. I said while the chain bound her. Now, use your arcanum to kill me then. I said to her while looking down on her. You. What did you do? She glared at me while kneeling because of Enkidu. I never want to use this to threaten a god or goddess. Believe me, as long as no one threatened my family in front of me, including talking about what happened here. I said, releasing Enkidu. One more thing. Is there anyone you want to invite, Aisha? I asked her while she quickly looked around. Some looked at her with hatred but some didn't. Samira, Lena. Aisha called 2 names and both of them stepped forward. I will follow you, Aisha, but only if he beat me without his magic and weapon. Samira said, punching her palm with a smile. How fine. Aegeus. Beat them. Aisha said, giving up since she knew about their character. Sure. I said while people started gathering because of the sound. In the middle of the street now became a ring that surrounded with Amazonas. I stand in the middle and Samira, Lena stood at the opposite side of the ring. Are you 2 ready? I asked them. Both of them looked ready but prepared to defend. Both of you come together. Don't say that you're not ready when I attack. I said, taunting them. Raga. Samira roared while dashing to me together with Lena. In second, both of them unconscious on the ground. Now, Ishtar-sama. I will take my leave with them. Please do think about my warning. I said before walking back toward my inn with Samira and Lena at my shoulders. You fufu. Looked like everything had become interesting. Callie laughed looking from her room. Indeed. Maybe I really need to side with him. How about you, Callie? Moving to Orio. Ishtar said while licking her lips. Yesterday is a lot of work. I started to think that this quest sucks. Even today, I'm being awake by the sound of people fighting. Lena. I told you, you can't do it like that. This is not a brothel. Aisha shouted after punching Lena off from my bed. Apparently, Lena tried to strip me and me in my sleep. Why? We always do this, right? Lena said, asking for support from Samira. Well, that's true that I don't mind doing it with him, but I'm more interested in fighting him. She said, cracking her hands. Both of them became more carefree after I remove Ishtar's symbol behind their back with Rule Breaker. Samira, the Amazoness with a wild look and white hair, basically she's a muscle-headed girl, while Lena Tally, the Amazoness with black hair and orange pearl eyes, even she wore orange clothes, is basically the sex addict girl that rarely got prey in a brothel because of she always losing with other Amazoness. Shut up. I already got a headache in the morning for 3 days straight. Why the world is cruel to me. I shouted after throwing my pillow toward all of them. Then I felt something tightened around my waist. It's Haraheim's tail, she's still sleeping even after all the ruckus around the room. Even yesterday, she's not letting me go when we return to the inn. You sleep really well. Escort-kun. Suddenly someone said, which made me flinched, Kali-sama. What are you doing here? I quickly jumped in surprise that she stood at the door. Even everyone also stopped what they are doing and looked toward the door. What? You're supposed to be my escort, right? Callie said with a smile. Ugh. Yes, but please not barged into my room like that. I said while looking at her. Then, let's continue about yesterday. You have to fight with my familia. She said, ignoring what I said earlier, and took a sit on the chair in the room. Ha. Then, what did I gain from it and what did I lose? I said, looking at her. I don't know what you want to gain from the fight, but if you lose, you will be our slave to give us strong warrior descendants. She said, smiling at me. No one really reacted to it because they trust me except Lena and Samira. I don't know about this. I didn't get anything from it. I tried to think about what could I get from the fight. Ryo quickly tapped on my shoulder and whispered in my ears, why don't you ask for her sign to complete the mission? She said, which made my eyes dilated. Oh. Ryo. I love you so much. I said, kissing her cheek. Alright, I accept the challenge. If I win, you will give me your signature to finish my quest. I said while pointing my finger at her. She nodded without much care. Even if you don't ask for it, the plan already ruined yesterday. We are not going to attack Freya Familia. So, my Familia will return home shortly. She said, explaining. No. It's wasted. Well, no problem. When is the fight? I asked Callie since it's better than following her around the town. Tonight, we will be waiting at the harbor. Callie said before leaving the room. Aegeus-kun, are you really gonna fight them? I mean they're level 6. Lena said, concerned about me while coming closer. Just stop coming closer to him, Lena. You don't think that I didn't know the way you approach a person. Aisha said with a tick mark on her face and pushing Lena's face away. Shut up, Aisha. My age is closer to him than you. I'm sure about this. Of course, he would choose someone that closer in age to him. Lena said while spitting her tongue to Aisha. It doesn't matter. You only got here because of my pity toward you. Aisha said, lifting her up and throwing her across the room. If you really pity me that much, then let me eat him already. Lena said after standing up again. You're not even his love interest. Let him choose who is his first time will be with. Aisha glaring at Lena. I quickly picked up on the conversation. First time. Who said I'm a virgin? I asked unconsciously. Everyone quickly froze on the spot and looked at me. What? Everyone yelled at the same time. Where do you get that information from? I asked every single one of them. Everyone started to look at Ryo. While the person still froze at her bed. I asked Belle-san about it. She said while avoiding my eyes. PPFFTT. Ha ha ha. So that's how it is. Yeah, I forgot to tell you girls about me. I said while laughing out loud. Well, I will tell you girls if you marry me later on. I said while crushing their hopes down about hearing my story. Why? Ryo asked me while her face came close to me. Because it's more fun that way. I said to them. After that, we spent a lot of time listening to Samira and Lena talking about their life while waiting for the sun to go down. I even sleep again during the free time. Alright, let's go. I said while everyone already abandoned their cloak since our identity had been recognized anyway. We eventually walked toward the harbor, but for some reason, a fight already broke out. What is really happening? I asked while looking around the port that became a battlefield. Even after we arrived, a bunch of Violas appeared in the town. I spot Finn and quickly run to him. Finn, what is really happening? I asked him. Callie Familia kidnapped Lafia and now, Tioni fighting Argana on the ship. While we couldn't find Tiona. Finn quickly answered. Ha, this is bothersome. So, they just baited me to wait in the inn until night time. I will deal with the people here, this is my quest after all. I quickly angered for no reason, it might be since I already seen Lafia as a close relative. Gate of Babylon. I said while opening hundreds of weapons out from the golden light that appeared both from the ground and up in the sky. The light could be mistaken as if the sun just came up to the sky again. Nobody move. I said in cold tone, gaining everyone's attention while the weapon being held in both Loki Familia and Callie Familia, even some of Ishtar Familia members. I quickly dashed toward the ship where Tioni is fighting when being told by Finn. I quickly jumped to the water while summoning Leadery. I arrived in the middle between Tioni and Argana. I kicked Argana flying toward the port and grabbing Tioni along the process and continue kicking her along her flight, until she reached the land. EIS, found Tiona. I said while giving a path for EIS to spread her wings while she flies toward a cliff near the ocean. She let out a loud roar letting me that she had found her. If everyone wanted to avoid useless death, then start following me. I said, making everyone stop what they're doing. All of us walked toward EIS that defending herself while fighting the Amazoness that thought of her as a monster. Good work, EIS. You can return. I said, opening Gate of Babylon for her and cut some of the limbs of the Amazoness that attack her. Callie. I said, entering the seaside cave where Tiona lying on the ground after getting beaten by Back that already turned berserk with poison around her body. I quickly dashed and smashed her head to the ground and lifted her head before kicking her in the stomach with pure strength, making her flew to the wall. Where is Lafia? I said while restraining Callie with Enkidu. Every Amazoness went on battle stance after looking at their goddess being restrained. I could still let this one slide since I never told you who I hold dear. So, please answer me, where's Lafia? I asked her again. She's unharmed. In my inn, so could you release this chain? She asked me with a smile. I ignore her while walking to Tiona. Ha, silly girl. Let me guess. You held yourself from using intense heat because you didn't want to burn your fat? I asked her after carrying her in my embrace. She still had her normal temperature, which meant she didn't fight seriously. Her face full of bruised, but she kept smiling. Ha. You really are a silly person. I said, kissing her forehead while bringing out Pain Breaker and heal her from all the poison damage she took in her hand. When Callie talked where Lafia is. Loki Familia already started to went back to the town looking for Lafia. Now, I believe you didn't touch Lafia, right? Callie-sama. I said while looking at her. Tell me, who hit her or who captured her? I asked her while the sharp side of Enkidu flying around me. Another thing. Please sign this. I beat both your captain with pure strength. This is my win. I said, giving her the quest paper. She kept her smile and looked at me. Sure. She said, which made me release one of her arms, and she signed the paper. The one that took Lafia is right there. Callie said, pointing toward Back that weakly tried to stand up. She looked at me with fear while Enkidu about to fly and impale her. No, Aegeus. Tiona shouted, making me stop Enkidu right on Batch's neck, while blood start flowing for a little hole on her neck. Please, Aegeus. Don't kill her. I don't want to kill Back. She said behind my back. TCH. Fine. I will forgive her this time since you asked for it. I said to Tiona. Thank you, Aegeus. Tiona said while hugging my neck. Another thing, Aegeus. Can you take Back with you? Tiona asked while looking at me with puppy eyes. Aren't you asking for too much, Tiona? She just beat you up, you know. I said to her. I know, but next time. I won't lose to her. That's why for us to have our rematch. At least bring her with you. Tiona said with her smiling innocent face. How fine, but with this request. You need to ask Loki-sama for your release. I said, flicking her forehead. NN. I will talk with Loki-sama. Tiona said while giving me a kiss. Puhahaha. Tiona, you really are a great warrior, but you throw away your winning for your chest size. You, my beloved daughter's really amusing. Callie laughed even after being chained with Enkidu. Alright, escort-kun. This one is my fault. I could let you have Back as my apologies token. She's the only one that worth something anyway. Callie said to me, which then I release her from her bind. She walked to Back and release her blessing in her. You have make me proud, Back. Callie said as if looking at her proudful daughter. Back nodded at Callie and start walking to me. How you are now gonna follow me? I said to her. Yes. I will. She said while blushing under her veil. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.